Our home. I've put down here inventions. Do we love Britain because of inventions? Because of our history? Is it strawberries and cream and Wimbledon? Why do picnics, feeding the ducks? I don't know. Like, what are we now? We don't have any leadership in number 10. You know, we don't have anything. We don't have a set of balls in number 10, which is what we need. Although maybe soon. So what's the score? Why are we doing this then? Why do we call this our home? Why is this our nation? What unifies us? Veterans. Veterans. So why do we do this then? What do they have? The people that hate us. The people that hate Britain. What do they have in common that we don't? I'm not going to answer it for you, but they have something in common that unites them, that unifies them. Faith. God bless you, amen. It's very true though, they do. And you've got to say, God, they do. Doesn't matter what you believe. Yeah? Freedom to practice whatever, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. Yeah? That's the score, guys. That's it. Atheists, agnostics. It's not a sermon. It's reality. We must return to traditional values. It's Christianity, guys. It is. I'm sorry, but it is. I'm not pushing it. I'm saying it. It's common sense stuff. Reject it. Sit on the fence. Waste your money. Materialistic atheism. Do whatever. But it's true. And God bless those people who are on the front line winning those arguments and talking about the Trinity and explaining to people what it's all about. Being open-minded. Politics. Money, no. That's why number 10 comes out with economic policy and tries to confuse you with numbers and the economy. Culture first, economy second. Culture and religion are the same thing. That's it. So I'm doing all this last night, and why am I here? Why am I doing all this? And why am I putting my neck on the line? And etc. etc. And what would we describe as our culture? Up to you guys. But make a decision very, very quickly, because I want 10,000 people out doing this. Yeah? They get 250,000. They want to be patriotic, and we want to be unified. Great. The door's open. There's no issue. Family, faith, freedom. Those who hate Britain, communists, far left extremists, Islamists, you are not welcome here.
Too much about Islam. I know too much. And I don't talk about, Muslims as a whole. Of course, I'm not talking about every Muslim, but Islam as an ideology is deeply dangerous and problematic. And in order to see that, you have to just go and read the Quran, read the Hadiths, and look at the life of Muhammad. And when I see the people in the streets shouting Sharia for UK, that really worries me. Because in the Middle East, one of the reasons that the societies in the Middle East are held back is because of Islam. And countries such as Dubai, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, they've come to this realization that if they want to come to the 21st century, they cannot be living by barbaric rules. Yeah. Closer. Yeah, sorry guys. So, oh wow. So as I was saying, is that the problem is even Islamic countries have come to this realization. But then we have people in the streets that preach hate. They preach all kinds of nonsense. And this is a threat to British democracy. And this idea that you cannot speak about anything anymore without being called Islamophobic or homophobic or xenophobic or racist, and that's how they stop freedom of speech. And as my friend was saying here, is that once you tolerate everything, you stand for nothing. Okay? In a free society, in a democratic society, we have to have freedom of speech. Okay? We're not Islamophobic for questioning Islam. We're not homophobic for questioning the gender madness of LGBTQ. Okay? We're not, sexist if we talk about some parts of, feminism and toxic feminism. So I'm a free speech advocate. I hope everyone stands up and speak up, because obviously I'm just one individual. And what I'm trying to do is to inspire people, especially with the background that I have. You know, there's not a lot of people from my background that would come and speak about Islam the way I do. And like a lot of people say to me, you should be worried, you should be scared. And this is a problem, you know? You can make fun of Christianity, you can make fun of Judaism, but if you speak about Islam, then all of a sudden it's a normal thing for you to get death threats. Why is that a normal thing in society? You know? That should never be normalized, ever. Thank you.
Well done for speaking your right.
And finally, I just wanted to say that, you know, thank you for having me. And I'm just basically, oh, sorry, one more thing I wanted to say about Sadiq Khan. And, you know, again, so, you know, Sadiq Khan, every time something bad happens, he always hides behind Islamophobia and racism. And I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. He's the worst mayor that London has ever had. And every time you criticize him, he's like, oh, you're Islamophobic. And he, you know, panders. He was a lawyer that was supporting people that were terrorists before in his career. He turns a blind eye to Islamification and dangerous rhetoric that has been said in the mosques. Because sometimes I go to those mosques and he doesn't do anything about it. And if you do question it, he says, oh, you're Islamophobic. No, I'm not. I'm Persian. I grew up in a Muslim household. My granddad memorized the whole of the Quran. And I love my granddad. He was a great guy. However, the people, the moderate Muslims that we talk of, they're the ones that cherry pick the Quran. If you actually truly believe in the word of Islam, there's a reason why all the terrorist groups in the world, ISIS, Boko Haram, Taliban, the way they are, is because they actually follow the word. And that is a problem for the West. We need to stop this, because this has happened throughout history, that, you know, Muslims have a responsibility to Islamize the whole world. It actually says it in the Quran. And we in the West, not just in the UK, in the US or Europe, we have to speak up about this. Okay? We're not Islamophobic for standing for the truth. Thank you.
I'm not very good at the tub-thumping speeches like Lois is, but I will start off by saying how sad it is to see the cenotaph, the empty tomb, the memorial to the glorious dead cordoned off every weekend in London. One wants to know what the people who gave their lives so that women and children would live on when they didn't would think about the fact that we have to protect our own memorials in this capital city. I think it's a national embarrassment, and we should all be ashamed of what is going on in this city.
Yeah.
Our country has changed irrevocably since even my childhood, but it is still a country that they fought to protect, and it is still our home. And the most important thing you ought to know about your home is that it is your home, and we have nowhere else to go. Britain is a warm, welcoming and tolerant nation. We are unforgivably polite. We take in those who are suffering or seeking refuge from foreign conflict. We build a health service that serves lords and the poor in the same way, and we lead the world in driving to be genuinely progressive. We value free speech because we understand that without free speech there are no other freedoms. But day after day and week after week, our great culture is being eroded. Our confidence is being demoralized. Children are taught to feel guilty for the wrongs of the past. We are ordered to be ashamed and even hate ourselves for being the tolerant nation that we have become. We lead the world in equality and egalitarianism, and yet week after week those who seek to divide us, like the mayor of this capital city, we are told that our countryside is racist. We are told that our art is darkly colonial, that oppression is rife. Presenters on the BBC that we pay for tell us that they don't feel safe in a room with different coloured people. They're just trying to hide the fact that they are the exact thing that they accuse every one of us of. Racists. They worship They hate our own flag, but they will worship every other flag. Look, you got a Ukraine one up there, you got Ukraine one up there, but they hate our own flag, and they love the flag they love the most. It's the Progressive Revolution migraine flag. The flag that has nothing to do with this country. It was a flag initially intended with good reason to provide safety for those who love different people, but it's turned into a political symbol that lives in hatred of Britain and everything we stand for. And I mean, if I can get the nomination, Rob told me if you can nominate me for London Mayor, you'll never see a sodding pride flag in this town ever again. But look, there's some not good news. They're winning. This country is winning. They are winning because they know that we're a good humoured people. And they exploit our kindness like bullies do in playgrounds with insults and silencing of any hopeful or diverse opinion. And we all know that the only diversity anyone should give a monkeys about, is that racist? Sorry. Anyone who gives a monkeys about is the diversity of thought. It's the only thing that interests anybody. This country is not a squat or a free hotel with benefits for those economic migrants who want to come here and exploit our system. It is not a place where teachers should be hounded out of classrooms for teaching children about blasphemy. It is not a country where Jewish people should have to hide their religious symbols for fear of a mob who shout violence on the streets every weekend while this political police force look idly on.
Yeah, they support them.
Trust in the police is at an all-time low. And some of our views, or some of their views, are met with indifference, and different views are met with police batons. That has to stop.
Yeah.
You police without fear and without favour.
They use the batons on us.
Now this is, whether we like it or not, and I like it, our home. Whatever your colour or creed, we are all British first, and we have a responsibility to protect the culture that was passed on to us and be part of the covenant to pass on to those who will come after us. Yes. There is no, here's some more bad news to you, sorry Howard Cox, there is no political solution to this problem. There is none. There is only a revolution that can take place in every single one of our heads and minds and hearts. A courage to stand up and believe in yourself and face down these bullies who would change this country forever. And we only do this by talking to each other and listening to each other and being confident and coming together in defence of this country. So I will finish where I started. This is Great Britain. We all have a right to feel safe here. This is our home, and we have nowhere else to go. Thank you.
Go on, Laurence.